Welcome to Crafty Chassis, where you get to be cool and be crafty and hang out with me in the chassis. I'm Kiki, and I'm here to inspire you to be your inner artist. Each and every one of you are creative, and I am so excited to make a fun project with you today in the chassis. Today, we're going to make a really cool tree made out of recycled wine corks. So cool, check it out. Let's go ahead and open our kit and see what materials we have to work with. So we've got a container of some clear glue, some raffia, some twine. There's a couple different lengths of twine in there. And then, oh my gosh, all these corks. This is gonna be awesome. And we've also got a wooden star here and a little sparkle bling and a toothpick. So, all right, so the first step of making our cork tree is to kind of do a dry run of the corks and kind of see how they line up together. So as you can see, we've got a row of 4, 3, 2, and 1 on our test piece. So we're gonna basically make the base of this first, the little triangle of the tree. So before we get started, go ahead and cover your area with newspaper or plastic so you don't get glue on any furniture. And then we're going to do this sort of dry run of setting the corks together that kind of are similar in lengths and size. So I think these 4 right here look pretty good for the base. So I'm ready to go ahead and start gluing this base together. And we're gonna get the glue and our toothpick. And again, we're getting quite a generous amount of glue on these corks. The glue dries clear, so no worries there. We're just gonna basically get a pretty good amount here on each side where these are gonna stick together. So as you can see, there's a pretty good amount there on the top. And then you're just gonna gently kind of press these together and set them down flat so they can start to dry. And I prefer having these red stained ends out for my tree, but you can mix it up and do, you know, whatever you'd like for yours. So again, we're just gonna kind of take the glue here, set it down on here, and then just kind of continue building our little pyramid. So this will start to dry as we work on it, which is great. So again, pretty generous amount of glue here. You wanna make sure this is gonna stick together. Okay, so I've got the base, it's looking pretty good. And then I figured the next row will kind of be these 3 here. So when you're doing the second row, you're gonna actually have a few different glue points. So one will be here on the base on both of these corks where it's gonna be in between. So again, we're getting pretty good amount of glue on here, but we wanna make sure that, you know, if we can okay, so we're getting a pretty good amount of glue here. Again, just kind of putting this out, setting it on top here. Get the glue on both sides here. And then even on the one that will be next to it. So we'll keep doing that. Then you just kind of want to keep gently pressing this together and just keep it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish gluing these. And again, just kind of go with that same pattern for the 3rd row and the 2nd and the top row, putting glue on both sides and then also on the inside of the cork next to it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll see you back here in just a minute. All right, so as you can see, we've got our pyramid kind of put together here and all the glue is sticking pretty well, I would suggest leaving this to dry just like this overnight before we do the next step. So I will see you when we are ready to finish up our cork tree. So now that our triangular portion of our cork tree is dry, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next step. So you'll see in your kit that you have a wooden star as well as a really cool little shiny piece. So let's go ahead and glue this on so we can give that time to dry. So using your toothpick and your glue, you're just gonna put a little bit of glue on the back of your little sparkly bling here. And then I'm gonna put this kind of right in the center of the wooden star. All right, so let's go ahead and let our little bling piece with the star, we'll set that aside to dry. And next we're gonna go ahead and get our raffia piece. So these are really cool. They just kind of give a very natural look to the tree. And we're gonna actually figure out which way we want this to sit. So I'm actually gonna choose to put this on the very top where you can actually see that number. Basically put the raffia along the bottom and you're kind of holding this down as you start to tie this together. So we're just doing a very simple tying knot here. We're gonna make it pretty tight once we pull these through. So just pull these through and then make sure that it's really tight. So at this point, your corks should be pretty dry and this will actually help keep them in place as well. But I'm gonna do a knot on the top here. So it's like wrapping a present where you need to kind of hold down, make it really tight on the bottom and then really pull it tight there. So you can always have someone help and put their finger in the middle there to actually keep it together. So now I'm just gonna actually do a very simple bow here just to give it a little bit of just kind of a cute finish here on the top. All right, so now you can see we've got the raffia kind of wrapped around this whole tree base. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a cork down here hanging. So it's kind of like the trunk of the tree. So take one of your pieces of twine and then you have a final cork. And this is actually, again, we're gonna tie this pretty tightly around the cork. So you'll want to kind of put the cork here and then again, evenly spread out the ends around it so that we can get a pretty good connection here on the top. And again, another person could help hold this if you need help, but once you get it around one time, you should be able to pretty much tighten it and do a pretty good knot. So again, you want to tie this really tight around here and then get a good knot. And before you pull the knot through again, just kind of tighten the bottom piece again. And then pull it real tight there. So now you've got your cork hanging with your twine. And then we're actually going to tie this just really simply, again, another simple knot through the raffia along the bottom of this. So you're just gonna put the string through the raffia. You might wanna lay the cork on the side here to do that. And again, you're just tying, again, another simple knot here. So that hangs down to look like the tree trunk. Awesome. All right, so we are almost done. So we're going to actually tie this other piece of twine to the top. So this will actually be the hanger that you can hang this from wherever you're gonna hang it, around the house or on the tree. Again, just kind of sticking the twine through where the raffia is. And then for this one, we just want to make sure that it's pretty even on the top here. And then we'll just do a simple knot around these 2 strings around each one. So just 2 strings through this hole here. And if you wanted to use something different like ribbon or yarn or anything like that, feel free to get creative. I kind of like the way that this just naturally looks. And it's all right, so now that we have our little hanger on and our trees coming together, the final step is to actually put the star on top wherever you want it, or you can put it in the middle, however you want to do it. I'm going to actually put mine up here as if it's the top of the tree. And so take your little bit of glue here on the back where you're going to stick this to. And then you're just going to glue it like that, wherever you'd like on the tree. All right, I'm just making sure that the star is in place where I want it here. Now I'm going to let this dry before I hang it up, but here is what we created. A cork tree using a lot of natural elements, and we recycled a bunch of corks to repurpose it into a piece of art. So I hope you had a great time getting crafty with me today. Please check out craftychassis.com for other art kits that we can ship and deliver to you. And until next time, be cool, be crafty. I'll see you soon in the chassis.